Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think we're disturbing our radio listeners with there was a beautiful note on Ya Nabi, Ya Nabi. But I think what's happening in the Muslims around the world, they call even Iran, there were updates on Iran, but which we are not going to talk about today, and other parts of the world, this is one thing. Even Palestine, nearly 1,000 people are being killed. Lebanon, people are being killed. Land is being taken away from Muslim ownership. And we've seen these protests and riots in Azad, Kashmir. And obviously what we don't want is there to be some sort of issues in the Muslim world. And basically land being taken away from them, or their rights being taken away. So we always call for peaceful negotiations, especially with Pakistan after what's happened previously in Kashmir, and obviously the dreadful circumstances that led to the split of East Pakistan and West Pakistan. And these kind of things should be better handled. If there are regions that are, obviously Pakistan is not a small country even now, if there are regions that have differences, have previously honourable agreements, people should stick to those previously honourable agreements, whether it's in Pakistan or Azad Kashmir or Baluchistan, wherever it is. These agreements should be honoured, and that's what Muslims, when they make agreements, they should honour them and respect them. Right? Without further ado, we are going to go back onto our main topic, which is like an emergency topic actually, due to the shutdown in Kashmir, where I think there are reports that 2 of the people have lost their lives, but we are sticking with the one. Pakistani media is not reporting fully on this. We're getting social media, reports and videos only, and we're not basically getting verified information. But there is a lockdown, there's a shutdown. The UK government is advising against travelling to Kashmir, and that should be noted. And I've got some relatives that just went a couple of days ago, and there's a lockdown, some kind of shutdown, and we know internet's blocked, and lots of other issues. Right, coming back to our topic of the day, the way this particular organisation, the Jammu Kashmir Joint Awami Action Committee, has been proscribed, so in other words, is classed as a terrorist organisation by Pakistan. Obviously, we've debated that, and I've said that's wrong. You're saying that's wrong, right? There are some general elections that are scheduled next month. Do you think this has got anything to do with those general elections?
Yes, so the elections are taking place, I think, in about a month. So
yeah, July 27th, I think, according to this.
So basically, I think any elections that take place in Pakistan or Kashmir, they're always very, very, can become very, what's the word? I mean, they can become very dirty, and they can use any means of basically try to win the elections. And the problem, I think, is that whoever wins the election becomes a minister or part of the legislation assembly. They can then fund themselves and their friends and anybody who has helped them to win the election. So there's, they have 4 or 5 years, which they use to get those. Instead of using this on projects for the whole of Azad Jammu or Azad Kashmir, what tends to happen is this money is siphoned off and it's not spent properly. So there's a problem with inside Azad Jammu Kashmir. at the time of the building of the Mangla Dam, they were told that they will be provided with water, which never did happen. They now, when the agreements has happened with the electricity price has gone to they agreed, and that was implemented 3 rupees per unit. But the 12 seats, this is the sticking point, and this is the cause of the demands of Jammu Kashmir Action Committee. So I think this is becoming anger, and the anger is being to tell the Pakistani army to get out of Kashmir. This is completely it's not going to happen because it's the Pakistani army in Azad, which is protecting the citizens and the Muslims, Muslims of Kashmir, Azad Kashmir, from being attacked by India. India can easily take over if the army is not there. Also, what we need to do is we need the support of the army to get rid of these. If anybody, the ruler is not is using their positions wrong, then I think this is instead of winning the army over to your side. You are now saying using slogans against the Pakistan army, which is going to be demoralizing will be used by India to say, look, we are right. These people, the Pakistani government and the Azad Jammu and Kashmir government, they are not looking after these people, and they are protesting against this, and they are being killed.
So I'm just looking at the seats number. You've mentioned the seats. So there's actually about 20 seats that are not, what you call, kind of reserved. So 12 seats are for refugees who have migrated from Jammu and Kashmir. But we've got 5 seats for women, 1 seat for ulama, mushrik, clergy, 1 seat for technocrats and professionals, 1 seat for overseas Kashmiris. So, can we get rid of any of these other seats, or is it just these specific 12 seats? Or do you think there should be more overseas Kashmiri seats?
Yeah, the Action Committee has said, only people living inside Azad Kashmir can be and
I'm just thinking that 1 seat for overseas Kashmiris, nobody's talking about that. I'm just thinking they are probably not talking about that. Is probably funding, and the funding is obviously, we know there's a big massive community from Kashmiris who obviously they had big problems in Midpur, and there's a big massive Midpur community in Bradford, in a lot of the UK. Most Pakistanis are actually Midpuris, and even in the USA. So there's a lot of funding. So that 1 seat, should there be 1 seat for overseas Kashmiri, or should we get into that seat as well?
I personally think that anybody going into the assembly, he's not going to be looking after the people or giving them their rights. The reason being is that it's become like a business where you spend you spend a lot of money to win the election, and then we've seen it time and time again, where any government that comes in and promises everything but delivers on very little. We've seen that government after government in Pakistan. So this needs to be changed, and what needs to happen instead of, the army has been credible in the past, in the sense that it has, protecting, us from India. Now, we shouldn't be, the Kashmiri, people of Kashmir should not, try to remove or call for the removal of the Pakistan army. And, if this happens, what will happen is India will move in. And so, if you go back 20 years, after the Musharraf era, Musharraf was basically saying we should have joint control between India and Pakistan in the occupied Kashmir and Azad Kashmir. This, so they stopped, trying to liberate Kashmir from the Indian army and the zulm, the oppression that was taking place against the occupied Kashmir, people living in the occupied Kashmir, where they're trying to change demographics to the Indian government is trying to change the demographics. So in elections, if there's people that have moved it from other parts of India into occupied Kashmir, this will change the demographics and they will be able to win seats.
This particular individual who's from the overseas is Chaudhry Muhammad Iqbal, who's serving as the AJK overseas. I've never come across him. I've never heard of him. But obviously, I do personally think it's to do with funding. And the funding will be coming from, obviously, as you know, in Bradford, there were recent, have you been to some, shall we say, organised protests in Bradford and other places?
Yeah, so on Monday, I think there's going to be protests outside the consulates up and down.
Did you go yesterday to the...
Yes, I went to the Bradford emergency meeting. And, they were obviously emotional feeling of... being, what's happened with the shooting or killing of the protester. A young man has been killed. But I think what needs to be done is control by the police and the rangers, not to fire on protesters and not to make make the situation more worse than it is already. So the protests, if they keep them peaceful and, support the Pakistan army rather than go against it, which is very important because, you're gonna obviously all the countries or, this situation in Kashmir has been going on for more than 70 years. United Nations resolutions have not brought about the referendum which was promised to the Kashmiris to whether they want to join Pakistan or remain independent, become independent or join India. And I think most likely, the people in occupied Kashmir want to join Pakistan. They've, there's enough evidence for that, that they want to join Pakistan. And Azad Jammu and Kashmir, Azad Kashmir need to be united with the occupied Kashmir. Families living across from the line of control have difficulty in a lot of difficulty. So I think the situation is that there's a blackout, internet blackout, and we've got limited access to what's coming out of Azad Kashmir. But as we mentioned before, and we don't want the situation to escalate into something much more worse.
Yeah. So it's basically, once again, what everybody is stating is people should calm down and they should come and have the conversation. Pakistan has made it difficult as they have proscribed that particular group who is representing the Kashmiris mainly. This has become very popular over the last year or so, and obviously the leaders of these. And I think they need to have negotiations with them. They need to stop this. Is escalating, and things need to calm down. I think everybody's calling for that.
Yeah. So, inshallah, I think if we can get make sure that the negotiations continue and peaceful protest is allowed. But the main, obviously, the removal of the Pak army should not be the slogan that is used in case there's the situation or violence can become more violent. I think mainly we've covered most of the stuff now. But if
Well, there shouldn't be violence. Obviously, the army needs to, what do you call? They've got bases in already in, Mangla and other places.
yeah,
They obviously they need to. The protesters don't need to, shall we say, attack these bases, or they don't need to escalate in that sense. But the Pakistani army needs to what do you call, keep control. The obviously the elected officials need to be careful what they do. This is the wrong action by prescribing it as a terrorist organization. Is not a terrorist organization. And last year they had agreement, so they need to de-proscribe them and get on the negotiation tables with them and have a chat and carry on with progressing. Even though whenever they progress, there's always something coming up. I don't know if it's where it's coming from, but always there's some kind of issues in all around Pakistan, but they need to sort out their own arrangements. President Trump is not going to help them in this case. Anyway, we'll leave it as that, and please do listen to our next topic, which is UK major issues that is happening. See you guys soon.